Hi. I'm not really doing anything important. I don't really have much to say. But today has been so eventful in the world of nonprofit social work. And I was just thinking about a lot. So I really just want to kind of talk to somebody, but I'm stuck at my desk. So I can't really talk to nobody. So what I'm going to do is ramble and talk about all the things that come to my head, starting with mental illness, financial discrepancies or inequalities, whatever you want to call them, because I don't have any money. I serve people who don't have money, and I'm really working for people who don't have money either. Isn't that interesting? And so with that being said, and all of us being broke and living up this nicely, beautifully painted picture that we actually got more going than we probably really do, how can we come together and make a change? I had a woman that called me today. She's a victim of domestic violence, so I really need somebody to give me some additional resources. She's the single mother of a 1-year-old. She's on the run, and she says she hasn't qualified to get in a shelter. And so my thing is, why not? You living in Metro Atlanta, you sleeping on well, not necessarily her, but I posted the other day how I got a young lady, single mom of 2 twin boys, and she's sleeping from sofa to sofa. I got another lady with a 6-year-old daughter sleeping on a public park in Atlanta. I'm not even on the bench. She's on the ground. So you mean to tell me in this great black mecca called Atlanta, don't see Red, this is why I can't be great. Because you want to interrupt my whole flow. I probably didn't text you back because I don't even know where my phone at right now. Oh, now the phone in front of me. Oh God. Okay. I did text you back. But anyway, before I so rudely interrupted. But in this great black mecca of Atlanta, Georgia, this empire of opportunity and money, and we got this fancy ass Mercedes-Benz stadium. But you mean to tell me the people who put into y'all's organizations and put into y'all's pockets have to be reduced to sleeping on the ground in a park? Or you mean to tell me that you all can't dish out some funds instead of putting it in a stadium, you can't put it into your communities? And I get it. Everybody might, or some people might have pushback about they're not trying. And I can tell you that with some of my clients, they don't try. Like, I have to be a babysitter. And my people will tell you, I'm not much of a babysitter. I don't like pacifying people. I don't like holding people's hands. But what I don't like even more is for you to struggle and feel like there's no way out. Because this is that mindset that has a lot of us, myself included, battling depression, anxiety, panic attacks, psych breaks. I've had a family member experience a psych break. I've intervened on a suicide before. That stuff is real. But us, we all chop it up to wanting or needing more church, needing to toughen up, or I don't know, whatever. I mean, we hide behind it on social media. I do it. I mean, I paint some pretty good pictures, and don't get me wrong, I'm nowhere bad off like a lot of the people I come in contact with, but I can tell you that I've painted a pretty nice picture on social media, but behind closed doors, life might be slick beating my A word. But that's okay, because at the end of it, I got a story to tell. So I just really want people to sit and think, like, what is a psych break? A psych break is a psychiatric break where that person becomes unrecognizable. They take on different personalities. They really become detached from society, or let me rephrase it. They could become detached from your perception of of reality. And that's the thing. Like, I'm not good with quotes. We are scared to talk about it. I'm not good with quotes. That's why I'm not much of a liar, because I can't recall a lot of details. But there is a quote that goes on to say essentially that, you know, everybody is crazy as they out the scenes. It's the crazy people that may actually be insane. But to answer your question, Mac, a psych break is exactly when a person becomes detached with what we see as reality. But in their minds, you know, they go speak in different voices. That part. And we scared to talk about it. And I mean, opening up a little bit. Y'all know, anybody who knows me knows I love my kids. I go to bat for my kids, and I sacrifice a lot more than people might realize. But I had my son come to me with thoughts of suicide. He was 7. Now, me, going in like I go in, I hustle. I'm usually working 2 and 3 jobs at a time to hold it down. So when he came to me with that, it hit me below the belt. So from a selfish standpoint, it's like, dang, my baby doesn't feel like he belongs. Like, and I know I'm doing everything that I know to do, everything that I can do, but to him, something's missing, something isn't right. So what do I say? I can't just sweep it under the rug and tell my mama to pray for him. It don't work like that. The last thing I want or need is to be at work for 8 hours trying to make all this money to keep them in a nice home and driving in a good car. And I come home, that same baby that I'm gunning for, trying to build this world for, isn't living anymore for me to tell about it. No, I can't accept that. So for the people who ask me, what am I here for? It took me a while. It's raining outside. Oh my God. I need to go home. I'm scared of bad weather. But for the people who want to know what I'm trying to do, I'm really, really hoping I can get people on board to accept mental health. I don't want to say illness. I want people to accept mental health as a part of the total health package, from the outside to the inside. I want y'all to really take this in and understand that, yes, some people might be upset because they're broke. Some people might be upset because they don't live where they want to live, or some people might be really shaken by what we see on the news. But you know what? Everything, your environment, it acts on you, not just mentally. It acts on you physically. It acts on you spiritually. And all of those tie in together and can ultimately break your body down. It will break your body down. So when you see people changing, they losing weight, they gaining weight, they eating more, they're extremely happy for supposedly no reason, but then they just plummet. Or you see people who watch the news and they let that stuff weigh on them. I'm one of those people. I want to be aware, but I have to find a balance, because if I get too wrapped up in the news, it eats in my soul. I don't know if y'all seen the movie, or I'm sorry, I don't know if y'all saw the movie. I have to put on my grammar hat. The Secret Life of Bees, I think. And there was that one sister, June. She was so passionate, so sweet, and she carried the weight of the world till it finally broke her down. That can happen. So, you know, there are ultimately things out of our control. It's out of our control. And I'm not saying dismiss it. I'm not saying sweep it under the rug. But find a balance. Because if you don't know how to balance what's going on in this world with what you already got going on inside, you will likely have a psych break, or you will likely just crumble altogether. I mean, I know at one point in my life, and I probably won't go into detail, but at one point in my life, I remember waking up and just sitting in the darkness, literally rocking back and forth because I was overwhelmed. I had completely shut myself off from my friends, and they'll tell you, I had completely disappeared. Like, I would go days, weeks, and probably months at a time not speaking to my loved ones. And somebody would say, they chopped it up to me being a Taurus. I am a Taurus, true and through, blue. But, hey, Auntie, I miss you. I still got a big scheme to come move up there with y'all. It's tugging at my heart, so I think I'm gonna make it soon rather. I'm glad you're proud of me. I hope I'm giving you something you're proud about. But yeah, I just remember waking up in darkness. Like a lot of people, I ain't gonna say a lot of people. I'm not popping like that. I don't even want to be. But I remember when I was at Valdosta State, I had finished my freshman through my junior year. And a lot of people don't know what was going on behind the scenes. But that was when I cut myself off from the world. I did. But what they didn't know was the stuff I had going on the family front. I hope she don't get mad. I love my mama. I love my daddy. Everybody know I'm a daddy's girl. That can be a gift and a curse. But I had conflicting parties in my ear. You know what I'm saying? Like I was the glue of the family, right? So when you working 2 and 3 jobs and you taking a full course load, you trying to be this doctor that you promised the world that you would be, but then you got mommy and daddy fussing in your ear, and then you trying to have a boyfriend. We won't talk about that part. But, and not to mention whatever else was going on in the world back then. What was 2006 to 2009? I can't recall. But long story short, that was around the time I started locking myself in the room. I was missing classes. I was eating when I felt like coming out of the room. We had actually ended up losing a classmate that year. And, when you're battling with death, you're battling with life inside of you, and then you battling with bad relationships, too much work, too much coursework. You just don't know what to do. You're being tugged left and right. And I remember rocking in the dark at night. Or not even at night. I don't know what time it was, but I was just in darkness, rocking back and forth. I literally called my mama on May 26th, 2009. I called my mama and said, I got to come home. I just got to come home. Like, I can't be here. I just had to get away from whatever it was eating at my soul. I had to get away. That's when I moved home. And granted, my dad at that point had like his second or third stroke. Yeah, I didn't live up at that point to the expectation of finishing school. Anybody knew me in my childhood by now, I'm supposed to be in my own house, probably married with some really cute kids. I got the cute kids part right. But, and probably rolling in dough with masters and masters, bachelors, doctorates, and all that stuff. I don't have it. But I said that to circle back to I moved home, and I'm glad I did, because I lost my dad within less than 2 months of me moving home. And I was like, dang, like, where, you know what I mean? Like, I was a lot of untied strings, a lot of disconnect at that point. I hate I missed out on that. Even to this day, I still have some guilt about it, but it's all a part of a plan, you know what I mean? I kind of piggybacking on the purpose of me doing this right now is going to mental health, you know what I mean? I felt like I was at my weakest moment, so I had to come home to get away from whatever it was bringing me to that breaking point. But then I think about my dad. If you know or knew Norris, Pokey, Jake the Snake Walker, oh my God, he was a smart man, very sociable. Like, we got so much of him in us, it's unreal. But my daddy's issue was, right, Miss Andrea, I think, and that had to be what it was, you know what I mean? Because, you feel our hearts, our souls are tied to something greater than just us. I honestly feel that our hearts and souls are tied to what's true and what's meant to be. And it's the journey in life that allows us to learn what that is. And that's when we start to develop our passions, when we really start to go through a journey of self-discovery. When you really start living your truest and best life is when you can understand when your soul is calling. And I I can really say that with my dad, he was a tad bit lost talent. But I was telling one of my clients today, it was a lot more going on with my daddy that nobody knew or he was afraid to speak on. As black people, sociable people, people who like to be heard, who like to party, who like to sing, love music, we love tattoos, we love writing, we love dance, we love sports, and we all use these as outlets, and that's great, that's wonderful. But it's when you can't find a balance, or when you let things eat at your soul to where you let it overtake you. And I'm circling back to my dad. He was a heavy drinker. And a big confession right now for the world to know. I held that against him a long time after his death because I just felt like he gave up. I felt like he gave up, and whatever it was eating at him, he didn't care anymore. Like, I remember having a conversation that if, about his drinking, basically. And you know what I mean? I'm like, if you cared about your life like I care for your life, you would stop. So what makes a person really continue to do things that they know is killing them? Yeah, prayer goes a long way. By all means. I know prayer done got me through a lot. You believe what you believe. It is what it is. I pray to God, whether it's internal or in the skies, whatever. I pray. It helps me sleep at night, and it's gotten me where I am now. But I also know that faith without work is dead. You know what I mean? You can pray till your face is blue and your lips are dry. But let me tell you, if you don't put forth that extra effort, bloop, it's wasted. So I said that to say that, you have to be in tune. You have to be alert. You have to acknowledge these things that you're going through so you can work on it. I posted today that, going to a therapist doesn't make you crazy. It's when you go ignoring the signs or pretending you don't have the signs that will eventually make you crazy. So you mean reach out to people, find a buddy. I got ears. I talk a lot. But I listen. Like, I really have a big heart. Like, I have some debatables in my life. I got like one or two people I really just don't care for. But even if it came down to it, I would never leave somebody on the wayside. And people don't think of what happened to them until it actually happens. You know what I mean? That's the thing about life. When life happens, my soror, my deuce, she told me yesterday, like, life doesn't come with a blueprint or a map or a plan. You just have to take it and go with it. But the way to best prepare yourself is positive affirmations. Having at least one solid human being you can go to, even if you just want to scream, if you just want to cry, if you just want to, don't punch nobody, but if you have to get physical, find the right one. You know what I'm saying? Find somebody that you can lean on. Because by all means, I'm truly invested in making mental health awareness a thing, especially in our community, especially in my family. So what I'm hoping to do over the course of my life, you know what I mean? I'm going to build a platform to make, outreach, or to make, I don't know what I'm trying to say, just to make it more accessible. So in the fall, I'm actually starting a health law and policy program, and my emphasis is mental health. So I want it to be so that if I'm making $5 a month, I can still afford to see a good therapist or a good counselor. Or if I'm making $300 a month, I can still have the resources I need to carry me through. And, it's a lot more to it. It's a lot of politics involved. But I was really I don't know. I had a client come in today, and she just really got to my heart. You know what I mean? She's an older woman, but she's a victim of domestic violence. She showed me how she was cut from here up, and showed me where she had something go through her chest, and she had lost her kids, and she was facing homelessness now. And she was filling out an application, and it got to the part where it asked if she had a mental illness. And she paused. I'm like, what's wrong? She's like, well, I don't want to feel, I don't want people to pity me, or I don't want to feel needy. Well, baby girl, life is about accommodating our needs. And by all means, I'm here to listen. I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to give your information out. I said, because believe it or not, you are one of many people, and you're blessed because you have me to talk to. Don't ever feel alone. And that's with anybody. Like, I ain't going to put my phone number on Facebook, but all jokes aside, if you feel like you're going through something and you need some connections, I wish I could. I don't have the credentials to be a counselor, but I just want my heart. I want people to know that if nowhere else, there's at least one heart beating for you and betting on your greatness, because it's possible. I had to really talk her down, this lady, because she was so caught up on being embarrassed and being judged. And I'm like, baby girl, I've been through depression. I left a salary job paying $40,000 a year with no bachelor's. Because like I said, my baby told me he wanted to kill himself. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, like, it ain't enough money in the world that gonna make me feel okay if I come home and my baby's not here. No, ma'am. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay to not be okay. And that's what I want people to know. And I'm not saying by going to the therapist or psychiatrist and they say, well, here, let me give you X, Y, and Z medicine to just take it. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not even good with taking medicine, so I definitely won't encourage getting on prescriptions if that's not what you want. You're open to that. You are definitely open to that. But what I can say is the first step is just really sitting down and doing an inventory of yourself, like from head to toe. You know what I mean? Like, if you feel like there's something burning inside, it's because something needs to change or something is about to change. And the thing about life, once again, you don't know if it's going to be good or bad. So you need to prep yourself. You need to build necessary connections. You need to build bridges. You need to have a shoulder to lean on. I tell any guy that I'm trying to date that I want to be able to take my hard hat off and take my cape off and just chill. You know what I mean? Like, because I carry a lot. I do carry a lot. I carry my own burdens, and then for people I love, I carry theirs as well. For instance, one of my closest homegirls, she came to me. She thinks one of her babies has autism and recently found out that he's being abused at the school. Let me tell you, professionalism goes out the door when it comes to babies, especially mine and that are close to me. So it's like, oh, my blood was boiling when she told me that. But, you know, I told her too, when it comes to children, getting off topic a little bit, and this is for anybody. So if you have any questions or concerns about your babies, you think they may have autistic tendencies, or if you even want more information about autism, let me know. Please let me know. Like, you got, you know, there's what's the 5 degree of separation? Everybody knows somebody that knows somebody. So with that being said, like, you should never have to suffer alone, and you should never not know. And the first step to breaking that unknowing, to ask somebody so you can find out. Because going back to this, my friend and her kid, she still hasn't had him diagnosed, but he has a lot of the traits. And children who are diagnosed with autism are oftentimes physically abused because their communication skills aren't up to par. They're not always 100 with their communication skills. And a lot of people dismiss their reactions and their behaviors as, oh, they're retarded. They're not retarded. Let me tell you, I had two of my clients, or I ain't gonna say of two of my clients, but one, oh, I was in love with that little boy. He was so sweet. He was brilliant and could repeat and imitate better than you and I both. Could build structures out of Legos like nobody's business, but he was autistic. The only thing that really separated him and made it hard for him to communicate was that his communication, he would merge his English with his Spanish. So to one ear, like you couldn't decipher what he was saying, but he could understand you and he could physically communicate what he felt. So, I'm sorry, I rambled. This started off as me rambling, but you know what I mean? I just want to open the doors to really get you all's insight. Do you think mental illness is something that's prevalent in the Black community? And let's be real, like, you haven't read lately that suicide is peaking, is rising in our community, and not just in our community, in children from ages 5 to 11. That's not even middle school. So if you don't think mental illness is an issue, what do you think it is? So we already know that somebody's going to say they need a better connection with God. Somebody's going to say they're going to need to toughen up. And I want to hear the other ideas. And if you bring me an idea, bring supporting details. Right, that's a big thing for me. Like I'm never gonna tell somebody they're wrong because I can be wrong. But come to me with some details because I really want to know. I want to take all this into consideration so that when I do get real hard on this platform, I can, you know, I can be thorough. I can be well rounded. It's 4:48. I'm just thinking, man, like, you know, finances. We got finances, and excuse me. I think I can tell you from experience. Like, if nothing else is killing our people, it's the inequity of life. We are born with a disadvantage. Like, we don't leave our kids with inheritances. We don't invest in our children's education as much as we should. We don't teach them to be versatile. We're so built on being, forgive me, Lord, just being Black that we don't know how to communicate with other people. That's one thing I can say. Like, you know, if you know me, I work with diverse people. Like, I'll walk through most any location and be okay. You know, but I can still handle myself in a boardroom. You know, that's how we should be grooming our people so that we can know how to navigate in this world in which we are a minority. Like, you have to know how to deal with the majority if you're a minority. We're not teaching our kids that. And then we turn to the news, our babies are getting murdered left and right. Our girls are missing. We got people who are dying and their organs are disappearing. You know what I mean? We have people who are living in poverty. But yeah, I guess that's a sign though. Okay, I guess that's a sign, honey. My niece keep calling me. So we gonna try this again. You know, I might call this my daily diary or my mental alert. But let me know what y'all think. What can I do to outreach more, better, whatever the case may be. Love y'all. Bye.